What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And in this video we will talk about Thiago and Wijnaldum, because this transfer saga is captivating the Liverpool fan base, and I have a huge update for you guys on both transfer deals in this video. So if you guys enjoy these transfer updates, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. 60% of you guys watching this video aren't subscribed to my channel, so make sure you do so you never miss the latest Liverpool transfer updates. And Fabrizio Romano just recently, a couple of hours ago, shared this on his Twitter. He's a very reliable journalist who is breaking all kinds of transfer deals firsthand in the media. He's an Italian journalist, but he's well connected in the football world. So I trust his opinion, and this is what he said. Liverpool are still working to get Thiago Alcantara. Bayern Munich are now convinced that they are gonna receive a new bid from Liverpool FC soon. Jurgen Klopp is pushing again for Thiago. Manchester United only had contacts with Thiago's agent and not with Bayern Munich at the moment, so nothing advanced between Man United and Bayern Munich. And I'm really excited about this news, because this actually means that Liverpool already had a bid rejected by Bayern Munich, which was reported earlier that Liverpool were valuing Thiago probably under 30 million euros. So we probably bid around 22-23 million. That was rejected, but now we are going in with a second bid, which hopefully will be accepted. That's how usually it goes down in the transfer negotiating business. And one of the reasons why this transfer saga is so long and drawn out is because I think that Liverpool are also waiting for Barcelona to make an official bid for Wijnaldum, something that hasn't happened yet, even though many media outlets are saying that Barcelona are going to bid for Wijnaldum. They haven't done so yet, but Liverpool expect Barcelona to come in with an official bid, and I think then things will really start to kick on. And also a Norwegian journalist is saying that Manchester United may have been forced out of the race for Thiago Alcantara because of the wage demands of Thiago. This is what he shared with the world. The latest news is that there has been dialogue between Man United and Thiago's agent, but Thiago's wage demands could be too high for Manchester United, which is actually very interesting if it's true. And I don't think Man United are very actively pursuing Thiago, because they just signed Donny van den Beek, so I don't think that they want to sign another midfielder. I think they want to strengthen elsewhere. And Fabrizio Romano previously told us that Thiago already has an agreement with Liverpool, so Thiago wouldn't sign for a different club unless Liverpool walked away from the deal, something that Liverpool haven't done. Definitely, we are still in talks with Bayern Munich. It's a long transfer negotiation. Fabrizio Romano also said that Thiago Alcantara is waiting because he strongly wants to move to Liverpool. Liverpool are still in contact with him and Bayern Munich as well. It's just a matter of days until Bayern hopefully accept our second bid for Thiago, which will be, I think, a lot closer to 30 million euros. And Liverpool Echo journalist Ian Doyle has said that he expects Liverpool to make another 2 more signings, maybe even possibly 3 more signings. There is still a long way to go in the transfer window, and he wouldn't rule out any more signings. And he made a detailed Q&A video, a Q&A on the Liverpool Echo website, something that I will read to you guys later. But first I wanted to update you guys on the Wijnaldum transfer rumors. So the Telegraph newspaper, which is a pretty reliable, respectable newspaper in the Netherlands, is saying that Wijnaldum will be Ronald Koeman's first signing at Barcelona. The Dutch newspaper confirms the information from Sport, which is a Catalan newspaper, that the agreement between Barcelona and the player Wijnaldum is almost closed and the transfer is imminent. So Liverpool haven't got an official bid yet, but how these transfers work is that Barcelona's representatives talk with Wijnaldum and his agent to see whether he would be open to a move, because otherwise the club won't bid for Wijnaldum. because it just doesn't make sense. First, you have to feel it out whether the player is interested in moving to your club, and when the player and the agent agrees on the wage structures and everything, the personal terms, that's when the club makes an official bid for the club who owns the player or the player's rights. The fact that the player is concentrated now on the Netherlands games is delaying the transfer a little bit, according to the newspaper. And it looks like Barcelona want to pay around 20 million euros for Wijnaldum, which is a little bit low, but you also have to consider that Wijnaldum only has 1 year left on his contract. And according to the newspaper in the Netherlands, Wijnaldum would sign for 3 years at Barcelona, and the contract would include also an additional year. And this is probably the contract that Liverpool didn't offer Wijnaldum, and this is probably the contract that Wijnaldum wanted, 3 years guaranteed plus an additional season if things go well. Liverpool did not offer him more than 2 years, according to the newspaper, and this would have blocked negotiations for the contract extension at Liverpool. And Wijnaldum basically gives the okay to sign for Barcelona. The Dutch international, with 1 year left with Liverpool, wants his situation to clear up quickly, to know for sure what his professional future is. Despite everything, this transfer still would not have been finalized. According to Telegraph, Wijnaldum has offers from other Premier League clubs, from Syria clubs, from the Bundesliga. Another detail that could delay the closing of this transfer is that the Dutch international cannot abandon basically the international games with Netherlands, and of course this will go on for another week and a half. So maybe Wijnaldum will only be officially a Barcelona player at the end of the international break, when he can travel to Barcelona for medical. So it looks like that things are starting to speed up. And of course, Ronald Koeman was the international manager of the Netherlands, and he knows Frenkie de Jong and Wijnaldum very, very well, and how they could function in a potential Barcelona midfield. And according to a well-sourced journalist, Simon Hughes, it's all about Gini Wijnaldum's age and the length of the contract he's being offered. So Liverpool offered him 2 years, he wanted 3 years, Liverpool said no. So Wijnaldum will probably sign that 3-year contract with Barcelona now. Hughes explained that it's got more to do with what Liverpool are offering the midfielder right now. And this is what he said: Wijnaldum is at a tricky age to be negotiating for. He's 29. From what I was told, the player wanted 4 years, and the contract that he has been offered is a bit shorter than that. So, of course, it looks like Wijnaldum quite fancies this prospect of playing for Barcelona for 3 years. I mean, Barcelona are a very attractive club, don't get me wrong, and maybe having won the Champions League and the Premier League, he feels a little bit like Thiago at Bayern Munich. He won everything with Liverpool, and now it's time to experience something new in the last few years of his career. Wijnaldum probably knows that this is his last chance to sign for a really big European club like Barcelona. When he's 30, 31, I don't think a club like Barcelona would take him on. So what do you make of this? I would love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. So I want to share with you guys the Q&A about the transfer situation at Liverpool, done by Ian Doyle, who is a Liverpool Echo journalist. So he has connections with Liverpool, and this is what he said. There's nothing really new to say on Thiago that we don't already know, but it's a situation that can easily change. There is a long way to go in the transfer window, and the nearer the deadline, the clearer the situation regarding fans coming back could be, and that could prompt a lot of movement. So at the moment, as I said previously in my previous videos, Liverpool are a little bit hesitant on spending too much money on transfers because we don't know when fans will be allowed back in stadiums, and that is £3 million minus in every home game without fans for Liverpool. And Ian Doyle also said, I agree Liverpool should really be looking to bring in another centre-back. That was made clear at Wembley. A lot of people slated Lovren, but he was more than decent, experienced, and he usually did well when called upon. Liverpool will miss that option for sure. Almost every club has set out that they must balance the books this summer, as nobody knows the long-term impact of the pandemic on finances, but you can already see some clubs are starting to twitch a little. They know the risks and it could harm them badly in the long run. Liverpool knows this. That's why they aren't taking any risks at present. That could change though. What is the chance of Thiago ever coming to Liverpool? And if he isn't signed, is there another option in midfield for Liverpool, was the next question. And this is what Ian Doyle said. If Thiago signing is reliant on a player leaving, you can see why Liverpool might not want to say anything right now. What if nobody leaves this summer? Well, Wijnaldum we are talking about, obviously. It might unsettle a player you need to rely on for a season. I would be amazed if no other clubs are in for Thiago, by the way. And it's not that easy to play against Liverpool, let's be honest about that. It's important to bolster the academy levels, and those signings are separate to the first team ones. They don't impact too much on the club financially. The owners spend the money on the club, it's all there in the accounts. Just because it's not new signings doesn't mean it isn't being spent elsewhere, on wages, on infrastructure. We have to also take it into account that Liverpool are building a brand new training facility. We are also planning to build another new stand, expand another new stand in the Anfield Stadium. So Liverpool have to set out around 50, 60, maybe even more million pounds on those projects. And that money probably, would have been available plus the transfer money if the pandemic didn't happen, but the pandemic is right here, so Liverpool have to be cautious with their spending. There was a report Ian Doyle revealed last week about Billy Bean fronting a sports acquisition group that may want to invest into Liverpool Football Club. It would be a minority stake, and our understanding is that FSG have been open to outside investment for a while now. They don't want to sell, but they would be happy for a little more investment from outside. Liverpool have never been more attractive, so now would be a good time for investors to come in. And also Ian Doyle said, I'm personally convinced that there will be more movement in the transfer market from Liverpool before the window closes on October the 5th. He also said there will come a point where Liverpool FC have to think of new forwards. I think Africa Cup of Nations moving to another season has given them another season of Firmino, Salah and Mane uninterrupted and a bit of time to plan for the future, but people often don't realize how rare it is to have a front two, let alone a front three, play together for that long. Traore is exciting, and Jurgen Klopp is a big fan of him. He's talking about Wolves is Adama Traore, but he's too expensive for right now, I would imagine. That's what Ian Doyle said. Also, Adrian will remain the number 2 goalkeeper. Kelleher is highly considered according to Ian Doyle, and he should stick around at the start of the season, but a loan out is possible for him at a later date. Liverpool are also a little wary though, given what happened with Alisson at the start of last season and so many games coming up. Fans of all clubs can expect to see some heavy rotation this season. You saw what happened with Man United at the end of last season when they stuck with the same team and ended up burning out for the Europa League semi-finals. I also think it means many clubs will be less inclined to loan out players, at least for the first half of the season. Jurgen Klopp absolutely loves Brewster, Ian Doyle said, and he has been impressed with how he has done since the start of the year. They don't have to make a decision yet, and it's clear he will be involved in some way at the start of the Premier League season, given injuries elsewhere. The early League Cup rounds will also give him and others a chance to impress before the transfer window closes. But it's obvious that FSG will keep a keen eye on those books being closely balanced. He's talking about Liverpool's finances. I can understand why fans are getting frustrated at the moment with the lack of transfers, but as I said before, there's still more than a month until the transfer window shuts. Things will happen, and not least because financial futures will become a lot clearer. And Liverpool have a problem because a centre-back who is in their prime won't come to be fourth choice centre-back, and that signing could be expensive as well. A veteran could cover for a short period of time, somebody like Klavan, was like a couple of years ago, and a youngster would have to have enough potential to challenge for a first team place long term, and they won't be cheap either, which is a roundabout way of saying I have no idea who I would target. That's actually a very honest answer by Ian Doyle. And also he said that he was surprised that Nathaniel Phillips wasn't on the bench against Arsenal, because he must surely be fourth choice centre back in line. It's too early for Stewart in my view. He is a talent though. As for Grujic, Wilson and Shaqiri, Liverpool were hopeful of at least £20 million for each of these players if they look to sell earlier in the year, but things aren't so clear now. That said, transfer prices appear to be holding firm at the present. Yeah, that's actually true. And Ian was asked about the lack of cover for the Liverpool forwards, and this is what he said. Don't forget that Liverpool have a front three. I think Liverpool are maybe one player short in attack, but Minamino is easily forgotten. If Liverpool bought him this summer for around £35 million, Liverpool fans would be delighted. Instead, they got him for a quarter of that in January, and now he has settled. It will be a big season for him, and I fully agree with that. And Ian also had this to say: Liverpool are going to find it tough for another reason. No fans. Sounds trivial, but believe me, having been to most of their games since lockdown was over, it makes a noticeable difference, and it has helped opponents at times. Also, Liverpool have only ever retained the title 5 times in their history. It really isn't easy. They won't be getting 97 or 99 points this season, that's for sure. And Ian also revealed that the Emre Can situation shows that Jurgen Klopp will happily use Wijnaldum next season, even if he doesn't sign a new contract, and then Wijnaldum could leave on a free transfer. But I don't think that in such current financial climate that Liverpool will go down that route. They would hate to lose a player for absolutely nothing. Player is worth at least 20, maybe even 25 million pounds. And Ian Doe said this: my instinct says that I would expect 2 more signings, maybe even possibly 3. A centre-back for sure, choose between a midfielder and a wide forward for the other. As I've said before, there is a long way to go in this transfer window. And if Wijnaldum leaves in this transfer window, I'm sure Liverpool will have plans to strengthen their midfield. And that's the end of the Q&A, and I really hope that you learned some insight, you got some insight into what Liverpool are thinking in terms of their transfer strategy in the summer. I think this was a fascinating interview that I wanted to give to you guys, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.